And it says we're live. So I guess that means good morning and welcome to Home Built Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. It is our hour or so of hanging out and talking about projects and things and just in general having a great time. Kind of like we're hanging out around the campfire, almost. Something like that. I hope you all are doing great. Oh, as I'm knocking a bunch of stuff over here. Oh, wow, how'd that happen? Sorry about that. What's going on, everyone? Sam's here. Sam says hello. Good morning, Sam. And Harry Dude's here. What's up? What's up, Harry Dude? Right on. Right on. Sam, how are things going in your neck of the woods? Harry Dude, how's Australia? You guys hanging in down there? How's the winter treating you? Hopefully it's not too bad. Dastardly Dave says, sup all. Sup, Dave? What's going on? And Neptunes is here. Neptunes, good morning. Neptune says hello. What's going on, man? Good morning, everyone. Right on, right on. Cheers, coffee cheers to you. And Terry's here. Terry says hello, Jeff. Hello, Terry. How are you this fine Wednesday morning? Sam says good, thank you. Lots of rain and wind from your neck of the woods. Have we sent some weather across the pond? Right on. Hopefully nothing too terrible anyway. Well, if you can't tell, my voice is a little wonky. We've kind of been under the weather here around the house, and it hasn't been fun. But yeah, some sort of a cold or something that's been passed. We've been passing it around. So yeah, I haven't. The last few days, I haven't been feeling all that great, but we're back at it. At least trying to be. Kind of started feeling less than ideal this past Saturday. I finished up, if you saw the video over the weekend, pretty much finished up the bracing over the weekend, got that video edited, and then I kind of got sick for a few days. So didn't get a whole lot of progress done here in the shop. I did start feeling better yesterday. Came out here, knocked out a quick project just as kind of a, I don't know, I was kind of hoping for a quick win to check something off and maybe lift my spirits a little bit. But so that was kind of nice. It wasn't involving the acoustic guitar, but I'm working on editing the video right now. It'll be out this weekend, and you'll be able to tell that my voice is not right in the video. But I'm getting back to, well, we'll get to that in a second. Getting back to working on the guitar. So let's see here. Harry Dude says, too many cold bits down under. But I'm sorry to hear that. Crank up the heat. Terry says, I'm good. It's hot here in Michigan. It's been pretty toasty here. I'm wearing a sweatshirt this morning. Probably don't need it, but yeah, it's been pretty it's been pretty warm here. We've been in the kind of lower 90s, and for most of the day, and it's been pretty toasty and dry too. We haven't had much for rain, at least in my area. Sorry if I end up like coughing or choking or something here. My voice gets a little bit scratchy, and yeah, it's weird. Anyway, Dastardly Dave says Texas Toast $400 contest guitar is finished. I got Double Dog dared to make a second one. Waiting on one more part to get delivered. Right on. That's awesome. I got to go on and check those out. Do you have it all posted up on the thing, their website or whatever? I haven't been following the Great Guitar Build Off this year like I have in the last couple of years. But I need to go on and check everybody's work out. Dastardly Dave says, hope you feel better soon. Well, thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. I do too. It's never fun being sick, and this one was weird. I don't know what it is. It's like I don't know. Never had like a fever or anything like that. Just kind of a throat and sinuses. Cold, little cold or something. um, School starts here next week, so I'm hoping we can get this thing out of here so that we can kick off the school year, um, and I'll be in good health. Oh, let's see. Sam says eat chocolate. Sounds crazy and like an excuse to eat chocolate, but it soothes a sore throat. Doesn't feel like you're swallowing gravel. Yeah, Sam, I've heard that, and I was actually talking with my mom a few days ago, and she said chocolate syrup. Eat a spoonful of chocolate syrup. I didn't try it, but my daughter did when she had it. She had it first. I think she picked it up when she was away at summer camp. I gotta close this window. It's too loud out there. I think she picked it up at summer camp, and passed it to us, and yeah, it's a drag. I'm glad she's feeling better though. Now we just got to get over it. So yeah, I've heard the chocolate thing, and right now my throat really doesn't hurt. My throat it started hurting on Saturday just a tiny bit, and I knew something was fixing to set in. Sunday was the worst, and Monday it was feeling excuse me. Monday it was feeling a little bit better, and then yesterday it oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Yesterday was feeling fine. It's just you know the drill. But that's all right. We're here. We're gonna power through. And Robert's here. Robert says, "Hello, peoples. What's up, Robert? How are you doing this fine Wednesday?" Dashley Dave says it's not GGBO, it's Texas Toast. That's right, you told me about that, and I totally forgot. I had GGBO on the brain for some reason. Oh, the contest is in Denver this Saturday. Interesting. Are they having that like at their shop or something? Neptune says, I can type again. I had a cat in my way. Robert says, hope you start feeling better soon. A spoon of honey and lemon might help also. I have no doubt that would probably help. The problem with that for me personally is I don't like honey. I know. That's weird, right? But I don't like the flavor of it for some weird reason. Neptune says, hope you get well soon. Thank you. Sam says whiskey is great too. It doesn't do anything for the cold, but you'll soon forget about it. Yep. And Nicholas says, hope you feel better quickly. Well, thank you guys. Robert says it's been really hot around here lately. Yeah, like same here. We've been compared to some areas, it's probably not that hot, but we've been lower 90s pretty consistently, and yeah, pretty toasty. So, like I started to mention, I didn't get much work done on the acoustic guitar since I finished up the bracing for that video. Excuse me again. Good grief. Mainly because, like I said, I haven't been feeling great. But I do have on the... I'm pointing at it again, like you can see it. I have... Let me see if I can... swing it around here. I got the side bender out, and I got the sides here. Gonna start working on them slowly. Probably today. I might get them thicknessed. Oh look, potential spam call trying to come in. Try to get the sides thicknessed. Probably down to about 90 thousandths, somewhere around there. We'll see how it feels, and probably get them trimmed away. Maybe start. I don't think I'll get to bending them today. I didn't really want to work on this when I wasn't feeling great. because like I've said in a lot of the videos, there's so many steps in this process that could be disastrous if I screw it up. And if my head's not right because I'm not feeling good, I just don't want to do anything super critical. You know what I mean? So I decided to put that off and just knock out a quick project yesterday, which was kind of fun. But I'm hoping to get back on that here in the next couple of days. There's some weird noise out there. I don't know what that was. Let's see. Dastardly Dave says it's at Odyssey Beer Works. The number of participants is too large to be held at their shop in Westminster. Right on. I've not been to Odyssey Beer Works. I've been to Westminster. I've not ever been to their shop either, but that's cool. Do you know if they're going to be doing any sort of a live or something like that, like a live stream or people who can't make it up there? Some weird noise. Is there like some critter underneath the workshop? I know I had a family of raccoons living under there last year, but I thought I got rid of them. Sam says, you may need a bottle of water. Dry air can make people cough more. Yes, it's definitely dry here. So my apologies. I'm probably going to be sipping on this a lot. Sorry. Robert says, here currently it's 92 with an expected high later today of 102. Woo! We hit 100 one time so far this year, but we've been consistently in the lower 90s. 102 is getting up there. I know, not for all, not for everybody. Some of you consistently see temps like that, but we don't get over 100 all that often. At least once a year, maybe twice, but not consistently. Bear with me, guys. My apologies. This stinks. But I'm not canceling. We're not canceling the lives. I'm not that sick. I'm not bedridden sick. That was Monday. I think it was Monday. I took like 2 naps. That's unheard of. KK's here. KK says, good evening from Burnt Greece. I hope you're all well, my brother Jeff, and all friends in beloved America. Have a good time and take care. Greetings from Thessaloniki. Right on, my friend KK. I hope all is well in Greece. You mentioned the fires. I hope everything's under control. Hope everybody's safe and all that. I haven't heard anything recently about it, but I don't know. I hope you're all well, my friend. Robert says it's 10:10 in the morning right now. It is. It's 9:10. And Charlie's here. Charlie says, greetings from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Right on, Charlie. Good morning. Cape Cod. Cool place. I've been there once. You guys probably know. I grew up in Pennsylvania and, been to Boston, the Boston area, and Cape Cod. I haven't spent a considerable amount of time there, but I have been there, and it's definitely really cool. And Dalo's here. Dalo says, good morning. I got late. That's okay. We're still here. We're still here. How are you doing this morning? Or afternoon? Charlie says, have you done any work with epoxy? I have done some. I haven't done, well, I don't know if you can see that router bit holder there that kind of is in the shape of a fish, sort of. That was unintentional, but that's got a bunch of epoxy fill on there. I've done a few things. I haven't had great luck with it. I know there's a ton of people that get awesome results doing, big epoxy pours. And a couple years ago, ooh, that's a low incoming plane. A few years ago, I had two pieces of live edge maple, and my intent was to do kind of a epoxy fill, the river type thing to make a guitar body. And I bought all the epoxy, and it was it was hundreds of dollars, to buy enough epoxy for it. And I don't know if I didn't get the right epoxy. I don't know if I didn't mix it up right. Either way, I must have done too thick of a pour for this particular viscosity of epoxy, and it overheated. It got really hot, bubbled, and it just didn't work very well. And even on this little thing, doing the epoxy fills, I always seem to have leaks, and it just doesn't never seems to work out great for the big projects. So I haven't I haven't revisited that in quite a while. One, because it's really expensive to have go wrong. In fact, I think I even did a video on that epoxy river guitar body that I was trying to make. I thought it would be really cool, and I'd saved these pieces for a long time, and it just didn't work right. Again, I don't believe it was the epoxy's fault. I think I probably just didn't have the correct. I probably just didn't get the right stuff. But I haven't done a whole lot. I've used it for cracked fills, void fills, all that sort of thing. But as far as like a really large pour, I haven't done that. Not since that guitar body. You'd have to search back on the channel. I know there's a video in there about that, but it seems like every time I try to use epoxy, it makes a mess, and I have leaks. No matter, I try to seal it, it just. Sorry, guys. So Charlie, to answer your question, I have tried some, but I haven't done a lot, and it's not something that I've revisited. I would like to, at some point, maybe do a little more research, make sure I get the correct stuff. But anyway, yeah, epoxy. I haven't had great luck with it. Dave says, stop by. They may do a live stream. They'll probably film it and edit it for a YouTube video. Man, if I get the opportunity to swing up there, I definitely I will try. But I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. But if I can, I'd love to get up there. It'd be awesome. Sam says, we don't mind you coughing. Happens to us all. Hope you're well soon. Oh, thank you. I just don't like that sort of thing. And, I don't want to cough in front of everybody. Robert says, it's been around 102 almost every day now for around 8 days. Oh, that's quite the heat wave there. Nicholas says, got the cajon finished and sold. Still waiting on replacement parts for the laser to finish my molds. Might just do them by other methods. That's awesome. Congrats on selling the cajon. Right on, man. That's great. So on your molds, so Nicholas had sent me some pictures of his guitar molds. I don't know which parts you're waiting on, but if you're waiting on more of the pieces, I don't know if they're all going to be the same or similar, but could you possibly make use one of them as a router template to route out some of the other ones? I'm not sure. I don't know, like I said, which parts you're waiting for. He says, did get started on the radius dishes though. Nice. So I got a question on your radius dish construction. Are you carving out the dish with like a router or a CNC machine or something, or are you doing kind of the shims and then bending the thin plywood into those shims? I've seen that method before, um, and it looks daunting to me. So I'm curious if that's the method that you're taking. So I might have more questions on that if you wouldn't mind confirming. And Mike's here. Mike says, "Good morning." Good morning, Mike. How are you? This fine Wednesday, as I'm feeling less than ideal. Adalo says, "I'm at workshop now. Today I glued the back plate to the side, and now I should do a little bit of thicknessing for the top while considering the rosette and binding." Right on. Nice, you're making progress. I showed you guys last week. Let me see if I can grab this without breaking something. I got all my braces on there. You guys have already seen this. But there was a comment that came up in the video saying that these are quite substantial braces. And yes, they are a little bit larger. They're a little bit larger than what they really need to be. And that's because I do intend on at least lightly scalloping these out this time around, I believe. Because it is pretty stiff. And I was trying that on purpose. Now, I don't know how much flex needs to be in here, but there's not much. So I do have a little bit more carving to do. I kind of got it, roughed out in the video. Actually, it's more than roughed out, but it is a little stiffer than what I intend for it to be. And that is because I do plan to probably do a little more carving to loosen it up a little bit. So I left the braces taller than what the plans called for. But for now I'm leaving it. It's got a cool sound. I'm pretty happy with it. The sound is pretty well balanced at the moment, which is something that I was trying to get the sound to be very similar at all four corners of the X brace. But I do plan to probably loosen it up some by doing some scallops, or at least reducing the height on the braces. So that's what I've been working on. And Dello, I'm preparing to start working on the sides. As I've been talking about, I've been feeling a little bit under the weather, so that kind of put the progress off on the acoustic guitar because I don't want to make any mistakes. I got to do some thicknessing on the sides. They're a little too thick right now. Let's see what they are at. I think they're. Let's just see here. They're at 135 thousandths right now. Yeah, 135. Consistently 135 all the way down. So I need to send him through the drum sander several times, get that thickness down to around 90 thousandths, and then see kind of how flexible it sounds. And then at that point, how flexible it sounds. Good grief. We'll see how flexible the wood is at that point at 90 thousandths. If I feel like it's okay, we'll go ahead and try to bend them. If it still feels a little bit stiff, although I'm not 100% confident as to what is acceptable and what's not, I might take it a shade under 90, but it's going to be right around that 90 thousandths mark. I'd love to hear from you guys. That if you bend sides, build acoustic guitars, what do you like to thickness your sides to? Corey's here. Corey says, when you're mixing epoxy, make sure you get the A and B correct before you mix it together, before you pour it to make your project. Yes, I have I don't have any out here. I have the little mixing cups that has all the graduations and things. I'm sure you've seen them around. It has all the measurements and stuff on there, and it really makes it nice to mix that way. The epoxy that I was using had a little pump deal, so you could, pretty accurately pump it up to a certain line and then add the next, mix it all up, and yeah, I tried. I tried my best. At least I felt like I did to get the measurements, the mixtures correct. I just, like I mentioned, I think I must have done too thick of a pour for that particular epoxy. I thought it would work. It surely didn't. It got super hot. I mean, bubbling, like boiling, smoke and steam coming off there. It spilled all over the place. It was a disaster. Dave says it starts at 3 p.m. Right on. Neptune's posted a link. So if you guys wanted to see that epoxy fail video, there's a link right there. Go check it out. You can see my less than ideal results. Nicholas says, have a friend CNC from models I made. Oh, right on. So that's what I did with mine. I made the models, and a friend of mine, this was before I had the CNC machine, and a friend of mine used his CNC to cut them out. So way easier. So Nicholas says, I want to try the shim method at some point myself. Yes, I was going to ask you about that. Doesn't that is quite the method. I don't know if I have the patience for that. I mean, to get all those calculations and everything correct, I don't. It's a cool idea, in the fact that it works. I don't know if I could justify that. I almost rather just buy one, and I don't want to do that. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on that whole method. Clearly, it works because I've seen it done, but man, it looks very tedious. Nicholas says, I'm waiting for a lens for the laser, but yes, I could use a couple pieces for a template if I fill several slots. Yeah, that's where I wasn't sure. If you needed to make the same thing, that's what I was thinking. While you're waiting, you might, if you could keep working by using one as a router template and just make some more. Yeah, some of the little slots, you put a little scrap piece in there so that the router doesn't bump into it. Might keep you rolling. Sam says, are you making the guitar for yourself or someone else? Honestly, I'm not 100% sure yet. It's not going to be for me. I'm building this one as a right-handed guitar. Um, it's all going to depend on really how it turns out, I guess. Uh, and then we'll go from there. I got to get it done without screwing it up first. But it is not a lefty, so therefore I am not planning to keep this one personally. Mike says, Kenny Rogers, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Epoxy video. Yeah, I folded on that one. Robert says, if you ever checked the wood selections that a company called Oregon Wildwoods have to offer, they have some really nice guitar wood available at some good prices. I have not, but I'm going to open up a tab on my device here because that's what I do. I have like 60 some tabs open. That's like my post-it note. I'm going to do that. What was that? Oregon Wild Woods. Wild Woods. Yeah, there it is, right there. I will look at that later. Thank you for that. And I just caught a glimpse of the website as it loaded, and it looked familiar. So I may have seen it before. But I will check that out. Yeah, thank you for that tip. I love to hear of different suppliers and places for things because we all know the the 3 or 4, maybe 5 different sources for guitar things. So I'd love to find other ones that are as good, if not better sometimes, that are less common. Corey says, it sounds like you add too much of the hardener to it. It's totally possible. I mean, I am 100% not claiming that I did everything correctly. I did try to, like I said, I tried to mix it appropriately and as accurately as I could. I don't know what went wrong. I feel more like I did a deep pour. It was probably 1 3/4 inches, and I don't think I can't remember which one I used. I know I used what was that? I think it was a Total Boat epoxy, and I don't have it anymore. But I thought that it was okay for that depth. But the more I've learned about some of the different kinds, I almost think that it was too deep of a pour for the one that I did, and I can't remember which one that was. But I don't know. I may have messed up the ratios as well. It's totally possible. Dallo says, I made the rosewood side 82 to 90 to bend using the steam box, and it was pretty hard to bend because of the spring back. But I'm not sure the case using other heat source like a silicone blanket. Yeah, I think you're right in that area where, it is a pretty common number. That 82 to 90 thousandths, from what I've seen, 90 is kind of, when you're at 90, depending on the kind of wood, the figure, that sort of thing, most woods I think will bend around that 85 to 90 thousandths. Don't quote me on that, but I know that's, it's a pretty good general starting point from my understanding. And I will be using a silicone blanket for mine. Nicholas said, smoke and steam when you poured epoxy, definitely too much at once. That was my thought. Just too deep of a pour. I mean, it was bad. I almost felt like I was going to have to toss it outside because it was, I mean, I had to open the windows and everything. It was rough. Neptune's threw up a link to Oregon Wildwood. Right on. Thanks, Neptune. Appreciate you, man. Nicholas says, do you have any video links to how to do the shim method? I personally have not done it. So I know I don't have any videos covering that method. It's I'd have to do a search, I guess, and watch some of the videos. I don't have any recommendations off the top of my head. Yeah, so I'm not even sure who has done it. I know Eric Schaefer's got a ton of videos on things. I don't think he's covered it. I know I've heard him say before, he just buys them. So yeah, I guess no, I don't have any. I don't have any particular links at the moment. I'm sorry. I've even been considering making some and throwing them up on my website. For just making some radius dishes, and I might still do that because I just think it'd be kind of a fun thing to make. I can keep some 2x2 stock on hand, and if an order came in, I could just throw it on the CNC and make one and ship it out. Is that anything any of you guys might be interested in? Robert says, I bought some wood from them before. I even sent some tops to Ben from Crimson. Oh, that's cool. Right on. I haven't even seen a whole lot of videos popping up from Crimson. I don't know why. I got to double check and make sure that I'm still subscribed. For some reason, they just haven't been showing up in my feed for whatever reason. Maybe they haven't been putting videos out. I don't know. Corey says, when you're done with a 2-part epoxy, it's mostly mixed 5 to 1. It's 5 parts of B to 1 part of A. The one that I used, and again, I wish I could remember which one that I had. I know it was a Total Boat. but it was mixed 2-to-1. 2 parts, let's see, what was that? 2 parts of the, I don't know, the base, and 1 part of the, I don't know if it's the hardener, but I know that was 2-to-1, the one that I used. Robert says some of the redwood tops and walnut tops are amazing. Prices vary, but even some of the less expensive prices look really good. Yeah, I will definitely check that out. There's a few pieces that I'm going to need for, let's see, no, not for this one. I think I have everything for this one. I do have a old growth German spruce top set. I'm going to need, when I get to it, I'm going to need something. I'm going to have to do something for the back and sides for that. So I could use a set to go with that. I have a mahogany set that I have plans for eventually. Mahogany back, sides, and top, like all mahogany. So I think that one's covered. Yeah, I definitely will still have some pieces that I'm going to need some stuff for. I've got a few builds in mind. They're probably going to take a year or more for me to get to some of these. But it's always nice to have the materials on hand and have a good source for pieces too. Sam says, he mentioned you had interference on your internet a while back. Perhaps a cable ferrite bead would help. Is that little thing that you wrap around the line? Yeah, my internet's a disaster. We've talked about it before, and I know that the guaranteed solution is to dig a trench and run a hard line out here, and then I can connect everything to that. But that's sounds like a lot of work. Della says, have you ever read some build information written by Trevor Gore? I have seen some of his stuff. I haven't read any of his books or anything. I don't know if he has books actually, but he might. I have not, like I said, I haven't read the books, but I have seen some of his work and seen some videos and stuff that he's been in. And yeah, definitely, I like his approach to a lot of things. Nicholas says, no worries. I found it hard to find videos on the shim method. Yeah, and I guess, I haven't looked super hard. I've seen it here and there, but it's not something that I guess when I'm going to tackle a project, like if I myself decided that I'm going to build one using the shim method, that's when I would go all in and try to look up all the information that I could possibly find on it. And since I've never committed to trying to build a radius dish using that method, I just haven't dove deep enough in. I haven't jumped into the deep end and really decided to figure it out. So that's partly why I just don't have a lot of reference material on that. Sam says, yes, it's the little bead thing. Yeah, really, the issue more, Sam, is not the line itself. It's the fact that I don't have a line. It's all wireless from my house to the shop. And that's mainly why I get signal interruptions and stuff. But even more than that, it's actually wireless even from my internet provider. So in the area where I live, I don't have many options for wired internet. Actually, I have 0. And I mean, the phone company might have something, but the last option that the phone company had for me was a modem, a dial-up modem. So we went with a different company that we have like a dish, almost like a satellite, those little dish satellite things. It's basically an antenna. It's mounted on the side of the house, and it looks about 14 miles away, 13 miles, 12, I don't know. Quite a ways away, there's a tower, and that tower sends out the internet signal. It's very similar to the way a cell phone works. You know, the cell phones talk to these different towers. The only difference is the cell phone can switch between towers, you know, as you move around. This one is, there's a tower, and my antenna dish thingy on the side of the house gets the signal from the tower, sends it into my modem, or not my, sends it into my router, which broadcasts the Wi-Fi. So it's wireless from the tower to the house, and then it's wireless from the router to the shop. So, I mean, even if I dug a trench, it's still possible that I could have transmission issues because it's all wireless. So anything that gets in the way, you know, it's all line of sight too. When they installed the thing, the techs are out here and they have, you know, they have to aim it, and it has to be pointed right at the tower, and you know they're wiggling it around, checking the signal strength, and it's a whole ordeal. So it could be more than just my Wi-Fi signal from the router. That's what I'm trying to say. Robert says, yeah, seems most of their videos lately for Crimson are just the auctions they're doing to fund the museum they're trying to build up. Just not interesting to me. If I played, I might watch them. Yeah, I don't want to watch an auction. I don't care what it's for. It's cool that, you know, the museum and stuff. That's a cool idea. Yeah, but I'm with you. It's probably not something that I'm going to tune into. Mike says, dig a trench, make a video. And then I could throw my back out. You know, I could like be out there old school pickaxe, you know, like one of those, like a mining lamp, and like do it in the middle of the night. That might actually be funny. Henry's here. Henry says, morning from the Springs. Making a magnetic knife holder this week. Right on. Good morning, Henry. That sounds cool. I've seen some of them, and they look really awesome. And I've considered maybe coming up with something like that one of these days. Nicholas says, Trevor Gore books are excellent, but expensive and highly technical. Don't be afraid of math and integral. Do be afraid of math and integral equations. Yeah, I am highly afraid of math, to be quite honest with you. Math was one of my least favorite subjects in school. I just did not like it. One of my favorite classes that actually was counted as a math class in high school, it might have been my junior or senior year in high school, was shop math. And as you can imagine, shop math, we did stuff. We measured with calipers. We did things that you would actually encounter in the workshop. Huh. And actually, that was a super cool class. I don't remember, I can't think of specifically, a whole list of things that we did in that class, but it was called shop math. I remember using calipers. I remember, measuring stuff and all that sort of thing. But all that like algebra and things like that, that's all I can say. And it makes it a little bit hard actually. Just the fact that I don't enjoy math. When I'm trying to help my daughter with school, she doesn't enjoy math either. So that's what I'm always telling her. I'm like, I get it. I understand. You don't like it, but we're going to work through it and we're going to figure it out. And it's hard for me too, because thankfully she's, not up into that algebra and all that other complicated stuff that I couldn't tell you how to do. Let's see. Dallas says, yes, it is. Nicholas said, don't be afraid. I am slightly afraid. Henry says, what method of tool or material organization are you most proud of in your shop? What method of tool? Oh, tool or material organization. There's three things as I'm glancing around the shop that I really like. One of them is this router bit thing. I've designed up a set of 3D printed inserts I wish I could take that down, but it's screwed to the wall. I've got some 3D printed inserts that has recesses for a 1/2 inch router bit and then a smaller recess in the middle for 1/4 inch shank router bits. It fits into a 5/8 hole, 3/4 hole. I can't remember. But I can 3D print as many of these things as I want, drill a hole in the board, and tap these inserts in, and that allows me to store router bits on. Right, like this one I did very random because I kind of wanted just a random scattery kind of look. But I recently put together a real quick, simple one that is mounted near the CNC machine, so I can keep some of the bits in there. Another one is my Forstner bit storage that's next to my drill press. I have there's a video on that. It's old, and I haven't watched it in a while. But if you scroll back far enough on the channel, you can find it where I'm making they're mounted on French cleats, and the tops are cut at an angle, and it has all my bits in there. I use that all the time, and it works awesome. I even have another one that I made that just has like countersinks and different things in there. But that has been working really well. I really like how that's worked out. And the last one that comes to mind is when did I do that? Was it last year? I think it was last year. Might have been the year before. I took some PVC pipes and made some brackets that these PVC pipes would slide into. And, I think they were 2-foot sections of PVC pipe or something like that. And those gave me the brackets I made so I could attach them to a wall, or in my case, I've got them attached to the ceiling kind of on the other side of the shop where it's not in the way or anything. But those allow me to store longer things. I store like binding strips for the guitars. I've actually made another a different size one since I put that video out. That they hold. I've got one for truss rods. I've got one for all my fret wire, because some of these things are kind of long sticks and they're kind of awkward to store. They're longer than a standard toolbox drawer, so you can't organize them in a drawer. But they've been working really well, and I've really liked being able to have a dedicated space where I can store longer things. I keep all of my bendy sticks here for the Go Bar deck in one of those PVC pipes. It's really worked well, and I've really been pleased with the way I've been happy to have it. Let's just say that. So those are 3 things that come to mind, and actually that might be a fun little quick video to make. 3 projects that I find the most useful or something. But yeah, those are the 3 organizational projects that I personally would probably pick. And I just did pick. I mean, there's a lot of other ones. You can barely see up there the sanding disc little racks. There's a video on that. That's worked out really well. The hardest part for me with that is finding a good spot for them. I move them around fairly often, trying to find a good spot for them. I kind of like it there. It is a little bit high. I have to reach up to get the one that I need. But I've been liking that idea of keeping the discs organized that way. I just haven't found the perfect spot to mount them yet where it works the smoothest. Trying to think of what other ones. But yeah, those would be the ones. Hopefully that answers your question. Hold on, I'm scrolling back up here. I'm going to catch up with your comments, guys. Don't you worry. All right, Sam says, for some reason, wireless CCTV is on the same frequency, so that's a Wi-Fi interference possibility. It's possible. I don't know what frequencies things run on around here, but it's definitely a possibility. Robert says, since you have a tractor, you might build some device to dig a trench, like a plow-type digger, dig most of the way to minimize manual work. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely could. And Mike says, sounds like we need to do a work party with you. Man, that would be awesome. I wish we could do something like that. Some sort of a big meetup thing. And man, I could find all kinds of projects we could knock out around here. That would just be a fun time. Neptune says, if you can get or make a larger dish, you could probably get a better signal. I did that with DirecTV in the past. I was able to get a good TV signal in heavy rain after the mod. Really? How did you make it bigger? I don't know how that works. I don't know how their signal works either, but that sounds interesting. I'm building my own satellite dish. It's not really satellite because it's not coming from the satellite. It's coming from like kind of a cell tower type deal. Nicholas says the Julius, I hope I don't know if I'm saying that right. Guitar book, Mastering Acoustic Guitar Sound, is based on Gore's work, but it's far more practical and cheaper. Only thing with it, well, it lacks supporting evidence, but Gore's book fills in nicely. Interesting. I might have to look at that. And yeah, I know I still have some tuning to do on the top. Like I said, I know it's still a little bit too stiff. It's not very flexible. I think it needs to be loosened up some, but I'm waiting on that, and that's why I kind of stopped where I did. So I'm gonna have to do some more some more research on that. Nicholas says, can Easy just get the book and just accept what he says, but you might be left wondering how he's making the connections between. Yeah, I've seen some. I think it's Trevor Gore's work, maybe not. But I've seen where people are like they're getting super into the tuning and frequencies and all of that. You know, where they're you've probably seen it, where they have microphones connected and it's analyzing the tones and stuff like that. And you know, the sand thing on the top, you know, as the top vibrates, the sand does stuff, and that tells people things. At this point, all of that is well over my head, but it would be nice to kind of have more of an understanding of that whole process. I think that's part of it. Sam says, magnets are perfect for each other. They're drawn together with a magnetic personality. Yes, they are. Just don't let it pinch those little... Don't let it pinch the skin between your fingers. Some of these things are super strong, and if you get two of them, I've had them snap, and it like gets a little bit of skin, and it really hurts. I always keep a few of them around. I got some little teeny ones and stuff there. I've got a drawer that's got several more in there. They're always handy. Philip's here. Philip says, good morning from Lancaster, PA. How's it going? First time I've been able to get on in a while. Remodeling my kitchen and finishing closed in the back porch. Been busy. And you, Philip? We're doing good. If you can't tell, I've been getting over a little bit of a cold. And actually, as I've been hanging out with you guys more, you've probably noticed I'm not coughing as much. When we first started, my throat was kind of weird. But yeah, we're doing good here, man. Aside from that. How's everything in Lancaster? That's one of my favorite areas in Pennsylvania. Of course, where I'm from is probably my favorite, but yeah, I love the area down there. I have family that lives near-ish to Harrisburg, so I've been down in that area before. Been down to Lancaster, Gettysburg, all of that stuff. Just a cool area. And it sounds like you have your hands full with projects, and that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, just working on the guitar, working on the acoustic, trying to get over being sick, and other than that, we're doing good, man. Corey says, this is just the idea. Find the same epoxy what you found before, and spirit meth. So many parts. Show me the parts of resin. So many parts of hardener. I think something got scrambled in translation there, Corey. partner. I'd have to go back and find. I could find the one that I used, the epoxy I used before. Nicholas says, not very little math in the book. It gives links to spreadsheets and equipment that would be needed. Are you saying that there's not much math in the book? Because that would be cool. Like, I know math is, the math part is important, but you start throwing a bunch of numbers and figures and calculations up there, and personally, no matter how much I don't want it to, my brain just goes, nope, I'm out. But if you can show me what we're doing and why we're doing it and all that, I don't know, it's just the way my head works. You start saying the frequency divided by the square root of the circumference and the it just turns off. I can't be the only one. Robert says, I looked up the cost of buying a shipping container and having it shipped to my place and was surprised how affordable they are. To my place with shipping, it was only about $3,800. Of course, to use it as a shop, it would need wiring, insulated, adding extra cost. I have looked into them as well, and they're not that expensive, really. But it's all the work that you need to do after the fact. I think it'd be fun though. Henry says, I find it's only when you have had a long time using an organization solution do you realize what is the most useful. Sometimes the ugliest contraptions I make to store things get used the most. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's been a lot of times where I would throw something up just as a temporary solution, and I find that it really works quite well, and it ends up staying. Or I just take basically that same idea and remake it a little bit nicer maybe, and that's about it. Yeah, sometimes the easiest thing is the simplest thing is the best. That happens all the time. I'm still trying to think of if there's anything else. But yeah, when you're trying to organize something and you're not really sure how it's going to work out, and you end up building something like this PVC thing. The first time I tried that, I'm like, yeah, I don't, it seems kind of janky. It'll work. But then when I actually put it to use, I found out that it really worked well, and it doesn't look that bad either. I made mine with wood and everything, PVC, really easy to make, and it worked great. Neptune says, I found an old prime star dish that was almost twice the size of the DTV. Interesting. I didn't know you could just swap them out like that. Philip says, busy. Right on. Henry says, don't go chasing zeros in woodworking. You'll go mad when the weather changes. Yes, because your zero's going to move. Sam says, where do they keep the pencil in Pennsylvania? We have lots of pencils in Pennsylvania. Same here. Always have pencils. Neptune says, been to Lancaster myself. Right on. That's awesome. It's such an awesome area. I love the farms and, yeah. Nicholas says, correct. Not much math in the book. Well, that makes me feel better. Dallas says, after live quitting, I'd check your radio rosette making video again. Maybe I wish I could make one with my backplate remnants. Ooh, that would be cool. Yeah, you totally could. I mean, I don't know how much you got left over, but I know I've got plenty left over from my back plates. I could have made a radio rosette out of that. That actually might have been cool. Maybe I should have done that. Oh well. Too late now. Also, check out, while you're looking stuff up, Dallo, take a look at Eric Schaefer's rosette making videos. See if you can find some on there. I'm sure he's got some on his channel. His jigs and his methods are what inspired my experimental jig to make my rosette. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out Eric Schaefer's work. He's got some good instructions on there. So yeah, check him out. You can check mine out. But yeah, I think you should make one. Mike says, "See ya all." Right on, Mike. You're out of here. Well, have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Mike says, "Oh no," Robert says to Mike, "Stay safe and healthy." Yes, Mike, and everybody. Wow, how did we make it an hour in already? We can still chat for a few. We can. My throat's holding out. I was worried there at first, but now it seems like it's getting better. I dug out since I'm getting ready to bend the sides on the acoustic, dug out a piece of mahogany. I'm going to make the neck blocks and the neck block and the tail block. I always mix those up. Get those made out of this chunk of mahogany here so that they're ready to go once I have the sides bent. Hopefully I don't screw up and have to make them twice like I did in the first acoustic guitar build. So in case you're not familiar, let me get some of this dust off here. When you make, what I did the first time around is I laid out all the sizes and dimensions and everything for the blocks, but I had the end grain on the top and on the bottom, which was incorrect because when you glue the top plates in the back, when you glue the top and back on, you don't want to glue it to end grain. So you have to orient it so the end grains are on the side and you have, face or edge grain to glue your plates onto. And that's the mistake I made the first time around. I had them oriented wrongly. I had them all completed, ready to go, and then I realized what I had done, so I had to go back and remake them. So I'm trying to avoid some of these mistakes that I had on the first guitar this time around, which is kind of the reason for building another one. We're always trying to improve, right? So yeah, I might work on that a little bit today. Again, I don't think I'm going to start bending the sides today. Might do some thicknessing. I just kind of want this crud to go away so I'm feeling a little more clear. I don't want to make a mistake. I want to try to avoid it anyway. Doesn't mean I won't make a mistake, but let's see. Sam says, your workshop seems to be missing a hammock. It is missing a hammock. I do have a hammock, and we hang it out in the yard. I definitely don't have room in here for a hammock, but we'll hang it out on some nice days. When it's super hot, I can't lay in the hammock because then I just roast. But when it's a cooler day or in the evenings, oh yeah. Sometimes my daughter and I will even sleep out in the hammocks, which we might be doing that here quite soon. Dallas says, I think I saw that once. Have remnants. Let's see, I'm trying to understand like amount of booger. That was too fit for my size. Yeah, darn. I don't know. Dallo. Radio Rosetto, definitely cool. It's a little bit tedious. It really is. Not horrible, but it does look really cool. So I say, Dallo, if you can do it, if you got enough material, give it a try. All you really need to do is cut you a block of wood that will help you cut your pieces to the correct angles. I think if you're using a 12 segment rosette, is it 12? I think it is. I believe it's 30 degrees. It might be 15 on either side, which I can't remember. Don't quote me on that off the top of my head because I don't want to steer you wrong. But you just cut you a scrap that you can use as a saw guide kind of thing. And yeah, I mean you could do it freehand and then fit it with a hand plane or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. It's not hard. It's just tedious and a little bit time consuming to get everything to fit well. But I would challenge you to give it a shot. Adele says, "Oh, sorry. I mean the plate. Okay, it didn't have enough left over. Yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. It's no worries. No worries. I understand. Yeah, I didn't have enough left over, which is a challenge. I think I would have had enough left over from mine to do to make a rosette. Let me see if I can grab it. Hang on, hang on. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm coming right back. I'm right here. So this is the offcut of my back plates. And actually, as I'm looking at it, I might not have had enough to make a radial rosette. The other thing is with this is the grain is not really pronounced. So it kind of just, I don't think it would have looked the same. Now, if I was using more of a figured type maple or something, it might have worked. But yeah, this is all that was left over after I cut the waste, the waste material away. And actually, like I said, I think it would be challenging to get enough good material out of this to make it radial. It might be possible, but the grain is just it's not pronounced enough. I think you need to use something that has a more pronounced grain, to really get that radial effect. See, if you look at this, the grain, the grain lines are clearly visible, so you get more of that, you get that contrast. Got a little dent in my top. Oh. Man, is it hard to, it is hard to work on things and keep that soft material from getting dented. Just notice that. That's a drag. I might see if I can steam that out of there. Yeah, that is a challenge. That's what I found for me. The more you handle these things, it's the more chance to damage them. In any little piece of sawdust underneath, as you're working, if you're putting any pressure, it's really hard to keep it from getting a little dent or a mark or something in there. Very challenging. So anyway, Dallas says, thanks. I'll report next week. Right on. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how you make out. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up this episode of the sick ward over here. I'm so glad we got to hang out. I didn't want to miss it, so that's why I said we're doing it. We're not canceling. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And I'm going to finish editing the video that I did yesterday while I was feeling kind of sick. So that way you guys have something to watch this weekend. And then I'm going to probably start doing a little work on this acoustic this afternoon. A little bit of thicknessing, maybe laying out the neck blocks and all that sort of thing. And as I recover. Sam says, thanks for the fantastic stream. Thank you, Sam. And Dallas says, have a good week. Robert said, if there isn't enough of the leftover wood to make a rosette, the part you have can be used along with the contrasting wood to make up the difference. Yes, absolutely. That's a good point, Robert. So, Dallo, another thought, really quick. So, like this one, I could use pieces of this as accent stripes between the pieces of the rosette, or you could do some combination of this with a different contrasting color of wood. So it doesn't mean that. That's why I haven't thrown this away. I haven't decided if I want to save it for possibly doing something else with. Um, but yeah, you can always use different parts for for accents and things like that. So just another thought. So good call, Robert. Thank you for pointing that out. Sam says, "Be safe, everyone. Neptunes. Everyone have a great week. Jeff and fam, feel better soon. Thank you, my friend. We are working on it." Harry Dude says, "See you next week. Hope you're feeling better by then. Cheers." Cheers, Harry Dude. You stay warm down there. Dallas says, "Thanks, Robert. I'll try." Nicholas says, "Have a good day." Right on, guys. Thanks so much. And from Homebuilt Workshop, I wish you all the best. I wish you all an awesome week. Have a great weekend. And we'll catch you guys live right here next week. Be on the lookout for the video coming out this weekend. And yeah, you guys stay safe, stay well. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Love hanging out with everybody, chatting and all that. So you guys stay safe, stay well. We'll see you next time. I hit the button again.